the fun and games begins. Now's the really cool part. So I'm going to be using all the bits and pieces. I've got them set out around me, and I'm definitely going to be looking for bits and pieces to go on here. Maybe a little something. I don't know, I quite like this, and I like the fact that it's got the green in it. Just hoping it doesn't get damaged. So to stop it from flapping around too freely, I'm just going to take a bit of tape on the back and just anchor it. I wonder whether I should have used two. We'll come back. Okay, the next place I wanted to add some bits in was over here. So let's see what we have. These are from the laser cuts. Thinking a little passport, and I'm thinking a few more blooms. So let's pop some blooms. I think those are a bit big, and I don't really want to cut these. Let's see what we've got. It's a better size. You know, it's fun when you set and fussy cut them, you can kind of trim them, but when they laser cut, you don't really want to just chop them off. Somehow feels like it's a bit of sacrilege. I kind of like the size of that one. Let's see if I can find something else that works better. That would work. I think I like this one. I'm just going to have to lift this up a bit. Very carefully to get the flowers and stuff underneath. Remember, might need to just use individuals. Well, that one seems to like the double-sided tape. So I'm starting to settle for these little individual flowers that I have. Let's grab a bit of glue. Glue's so permanent though. It's the only thing. So if you decide you don't like it there, it's kind of stuck. Alright, I want these passports. I think I'm just going to use a bit of this double-sided tape. I don't always do that. I stick it down and then it moves. Let's take the bigger one. Pop it there. Once I'm happy with everything as well, I can come around with a bit of glue and just stick it all in place. Oh, you can't even see that flower now that I painstakingly put there. That was a bit daft. There's a little leaf. Okay, I don't think I'm going to add anything more to that for now. Just going to leave that. That being said, you never know. Right, got all these flowers. Quite like the idea of a little flower. Just finishing off that arrangement. And I also quite like the idea of some words. It's quite important the color that you choose, because you may or may not see it. Oh dear, I used the adventure on the front. Okay. That's better because we can see the VW, the Foxy. I'm going to leave it for there. So I always do this. I do a couple of pass-throughs. It's too much of the same. We're going to put this here. We're going to have to raise it. Oh, that was almost perfect. Almost, but not quite. And to that, we're going to add, you guessed it, some twine. I'm probably going to add more than one piece of twine. Let's cut this in half. Feed that through the little hole. Pop it through there. And then we've got some all different lengths. And then to keep this in place, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on this side. Bit of glue on this side. And hopefully that sticks it down. Small problem. Slight error, judgment. We only have, okay, I can move it over. So I'm pretty happy with that. I do have these scenic roots. And I love these, how you can just use these elements. They don't have to be, your photo doesn't have to be that big, it can just kind of fit in there. So like adventure, these are things that I would come in and do later. I would never do them at this stage of an album normally, because obviously you're going to position this over a photo to make it work in the situation you're in. So all I'm going to do is one little thin piece of tape just to show you kind of the idea. I might read this decision. Maybe should have raised it. What I love about these flowers is that they just break up the color a little bit and adds that pop of white. That is always so needed. Stick this down. I'm going to come in with this little hood, this little hat. Stick it over the side. I would come in and actually glue those down. So for now I'm just placing, but you could absolutely come in and glue down. Haven't put any mats here, and I also haven't put anything in there, but you could absolutely have big or small. So you could have big or small or big, and even to the side. I think this is a 6x4. Looks like a 6x4. No, it's a little bit bigger. 4.5 by 6.5. 6x4. There we go. So you could absolutely come in just with a single and even over to fit them in like so. So you've got two photos. Or you could have it over and like so. Not going to stick them down, or should I? I better, because then I can embellish, show you how I would embellish. please don't stick yours like your photos down like I'm sticking my photo mats down. Stick them down properly. I'm also just looking here. This I've just cut down to 3.5 by 6. It's a little bit too small, so I should have gone to 3.25. So the idea for this is that it would be for like tickets or whatever that you wanted to keep. Pop those in there. Though it's a bit small, we could add a few more. Right, let's get decorating. So we have on this side, we also have some bits and bobs. And I tend to want to use stuff that's a little bit lighter to lift. This page is quite dark. So again, I'm probably going to come in with some flowers. And maybe a nice big word. That's quite a darkish green one. I'm sure I can find a lighter one. Do like the size of the other one though. I'm not sticking a lot of glue in case I have to lift them. This Wanderlust is not popping, so what I'm going to do is either pop it onto a black or onto even just another little piece of orangey color just to pop it. And remember, we've got all those little strippies still. Straight away that pops it, so let's just move over, move the border. Not too sure if it pops it enough for my lighting. I actually prefer it on white. So let's not be brave or silly. Let's stick it with tape, because then we can always take it up if we don't like it. I've stuck it like that on purpose, giving myself half an inch. Too much. Made it a little bit bigger, now we're losing. See, it's just like a trial and error thing. So let me cut this right down so it's the thinnest black. I mean, the whole idea is that I want to see the chevron. I think I might have to do this one manually now, which is not my strong point. Say a little prayer with me as I do this. Okay, so I've kind of got the effect I wanted. Let's stick it down. People ask me how long it takes to make a mini album. Mini albums don't take that long to make. A couple of hours. But decorating, embellishing, that's like a 5-day effort. Okay, so I'm going to leave everything at that. We're going on to page 1. I've got this little embellishment here already. We could add, just for interest, a little blob there. And a little blob there. So nothing too much added on this page. So obviously I'm sticking down washi tape, but your photo needs to be underneath that. Not too sure what that is. I think it could be a map. Build up at the bottom of this page just a little the word montage. Can't remember. Just doubling this one up. Probably could have put a single on the other side. Too much. It's a bit too much old worldy. So what about a little warm? Let's have a little flower just to break the color. And how about a little word? Let's have a look. We've got all these great words here. Quite like that go travel. Okay, done. May come back and add more at a later stage, but for now I'm happy. Remember, we have to fix that. Oops. So we could do destination going down the side, or we could do some very pretty washi tape. No, you need to look carefully because the washi tape is all a little different. It's not the same way. It all goes, sorry, it doesn't all go the same way. Might not even have needed to put that there. I don't need this whole train. So, sorry train, I don't need the back of you. So let's just chop it. Because we're going to add you in right there. Like so. I don't know if doing videos like this is worth it, whether I need to carry on with this or whether I should just leave it here. So I'm only going to stick that one down. These would be stuck at a later stage. But that definitely hides my bad cutting. From Seek. Escape the ordinary. I need more of these. I'm sure there are, so I'm not going to stick those just yet. I'm also not too sure if I want to add some flowers or something. Very difficult when you don't know what you're going to put on here. We also need a bit of a photo mat behind here, possibly. So I'm struggling with these pages. I'm going to come back because I know what I want to do on these pages. So I'm going to come back to those. Because on these, I want to add some frames. They don't have to be straight. But they can add a bit of interest. So just going to show you with a couple of these, and again not using glue. You can keep them straight if straight is your vibe. You know, really, how do I do that every time as I'm putting it down? Position it, get it perfectly positioned, and then drop it in the wrong place. There we go. So this is just a different way of using your frames. and because I don't have photos, just putting them down very loosely. But in an album you want to attach these really well so that they don't lift, number one, and they don't get scrunched. We could also have one with more than one focal point, so something like that. Okay, so basically just showing you, and then we want some sort of word or embellishment. Oh, there the others, I knew there were more. Or a tag. Got a couple of tags. I'm just going to have a look and see what I've got. One. See, I'm working off here a little bit, sorry. I had washi tape in front of my screen. Don't throw the piece away that you're not using. Remember, we're not sticking right to the edge. Struggling to get underneath there. a bit too similar in colour. Right, so you're just going to be building up now. You literally have got loads of bits and pieces and you're going to be building up. I need something at the top here. Not 100% sure what it's going to be, whether it's going to be one of these journaling cards, whether it's going to be some tickets. Remember, you're putting something like that on here and it's getting lost because it's got no background, so it might just need a little background to make it work. Quite like that one. So you're just going to continually go through your pieces until you find something. So at the moment I'm loving that. The colours are right. The idea is right. And it's just now a whole heap of trial and error. Where's that piece that I cut off? Until you find what works. And if you have a look at that one, it really makes it pop. To make it pop a little bit more, either white, so we're looking for something to make this pop, and it might just be the black. Yep, it is the black. All those little pieces that you haven't used, this is where you're going to use them now. You're going to use all those leftover bits. And if you find the black too harsh, try it on a piece of brown. I just think the brown won't work. Trust your instincts and go with it. There's already too many flowers here. The flowers are not that they're too many, the flowers are getting lost. So we need a little strip. I think we need a little strip of this. Oh, how I'd love to have those robins. Those would just be delicious. I think I may have this too high up. Oh. Put this just a little bit lower. The beauty of washi tape. And that's it. Jackpot. And still come in and add a little word. So we got making memories. That is too close. Adventure at weights. Go and find it. And for those who this is freaking out, you can remember you can straighten it. So maybe it's freaking me out a bit too much. And I think this video is way too long, and I don't think you need to be sitting watching me decorate the whole way through. That wasn't too clever. Backing tape came off. So when I'm making such a big album, I always like to kind of decorate and then move on and then come back, because I don't know how many embellishments I'll have left. Obviously I want to put a few bits and pieces on each page. I'm not sure if I'm really happy with the small one here. I think it needs to be big as well. So I might pull that off and replace it, or put in some little ones. Oh, hold on. Put in a journaling card. That'll work. Which means we've got a space for some photos there. Right, so I'll come back and sort that out. When you next see the album, that would have been sorted out. I'll also find this quite stark. So I am thinking, this is crooked, I don't love that, but I'm also thinking that I perhaps need to be chopping one of these into quarters. So it's currently just over 2 inches. I'm thinking we need a little bit of frame. These frames are so versatile. Shouldn't have left this off. Like a little photo corner, isn't it? Not too sure how I want this frame here, so I'm going to lift it up. Not too sure. Possibly, or possibly may look a bit weird. We'll come back, we'll put that over there. Okay, there's one more page that I'm going to do with you. This probably needs some words. So something like that. Once I've done this, I'm going to do one more page with you, and then you would have sat through this for almost an hour, which is way longer than I planned. Maybe if I remembered to put the pin in last night, it would have been great. And let's put one on this side as well. I kind of like this dark, the darker of the colors, this sort of ambery color. So sometimes less is more. You don't have to embellish, over embellish every single page. you do want your photos to do the talking. I just find sometimes that pages are like over embellished, that there's so much on them that you don't see the reason for a scrapbook, which is really the photos. They're beautiful. I'm not saying they're not beautiful, but we start losing the reason for scrapbooking. Remember, we cut this train off, so we could use that somewhere later. Okay, so the one I wanted to show you was here. So what I thought of in my little pea brain, I had thought that maybe you could add a piece of twine showing where you were going. So for me it would be Durban, South Africa, to, in my dreams it would either be to Oregon, somewhere further up there I think, or it could be to the UK or wherever. But that was one of the thoughts I had, not doing anything yet. I do want to finish this off with a little washi because it looks really unfinished. So kind of like this Good Company. Why does washi always squelch up into like a little... I haven't done this very well, have I? So I just moved that so I could line up the, well, line up most of them anyway. So that just finishes it off. Okay, and it was this one, so I'm desperate to use these little washi tape pieces, because the whole idea of this is that it's like a born to travel, adventure awaits, adventures waiting for you. Dream, discover, travel. Got a couple of world. So I wanted this one to be super fun, and we've got a lot of space it needs. Maybe overdone it down here. Could also look like it's just been tacked up with those things. I think Born to Travel needs to come over here. And then we also have some of these. just randomly placing them. You can finish that page really, really quickly. I possibly will come back and put in a few more bits and bobs, but I've just been dying to use these. And where's my little packet of, what do you call those thingies? Epoxy. I had them here. I've lost them because we need a few more of those here. Where are they? I had them on my desk. I've lost them. Oh my word. Right, well that's a good time to halt this video, I presume. Do you know the little epoxy stickers that I'm talking about? Found them. Oh, that was nearly a catastrophe. In Afrikaans would say katastrofe. You also could use some of these to like highlight a specific photo, and they're also kind of like these, so they look like you've tacked it on the bottom. And maybe not be so specific. Like I know there's some of you, I can think of one of my customers in particular. She's the sweetest customer, but I know she would make sure they all match. And normally I would too. So I'm trying really hard. To not be matchy-matchy. One of these little guys, just to show you. Would be used somewhere to highlight a specific photo. We could also have some of these. Oh, made an oops, yeah. And I'm going to finish this video here because it is way, way, way too long. If I can get the mouse to work.